Hello, good evening and welcome to Prime Business. I am Pius Kojo Baka and looking at our stories. Finance Minister Dr. Kasiela Tuforsin has announced plans for the Ghana Gold Board to buy up to 127 tons of gold annually from artisanal and small-scale miners as part of a new national policy aimed at strengthening Ghana's external reserves. Speaking in Parliament while unveiling what he described as the country's first comprehensive reserves, Dr. Forson said the initiative is designed to safeguard the economy and ensure stable participation in the gold market.
Mr. Speaker, to secure the target after netting out debt service, FX operations, energy sector payment, and statutory outflows, the strategy requires an average of 9.5 billion United States dollars annual additions to the country's gross international reserves. Mr. Speaker, to achieve this, the reserve accumulation target, the GANRAP has set an operational weekly gold purchase target of about 3 tons per week. At 3 tons per week and a price of $5,000 per ounce, gross receipts are projected at approximately 25.28 billion United States dollars annually. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's strategy for the acquisition of 3 tons of gold per week is in two folds. The first is the Ghana Gold Board to acquire up to 2.4 tons of gold per week from artisanal small-scale mining sector. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Finance will be making budgetary allocation to the Ghana Gold Board to achieve the objectives. The second, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry for Land and Natural Resources is to invoke the preemption right under Section 3D of the Ghana Gold Board Act 2025 Act 1140 and Section 7 of the Minerals and Mining Act 703 to purchase a minimum of 0.5 tons of gold per week from large-scale gold mines.
Now, prices of petroleum products are set to go up marginally from the beginning of next month. That's according to the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana (COPEC). Now, petrol is expected to go up marginally by more than 3%, diesel by 1.25%, while LPG could witness a decline. The spike has been influenced by rising price of crude oil on the international market and recent pressure on the cedi. Society organizations in Ghana's energy sector are urging government to fast-track the second gas processing plant at Atuabo. They say the expansion is critical to stabilizing power and boosting domestic LPG supply. Now, they visited the Atuabo gas processing plant in the western region to familiarize themselves with the operations on site. Here's more.
The call comes after a familiarization tour of the Atuabo gas processing plant by civil society groups, including Duncan Amwa, Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers (COPEC).
If you're able to finish the train 2, chances are that you can be able to take over the 100% market without going to other places to import LPG. What that would also mean to the power sector is that you would have a lot more for the thermal generation. And so we are pleading that whatever support the authorities or government would provide to expedite the coming on stream of the train 2, we want to see it done within the next 12, maximum 24 months.
Atuabo management say the facility has the expertise, land and infrastructure to support the expansion, making phase 2 a cost-effective investment for Ghana's energy future.
And we believe that with the second plant being here, it will be best for Ghana because we have the facilities, and it will cost also less than going to a place that they will have to start afresh without the expertise and the experience. We can run the plant in parallel with that of the second plant as well, using the local expertise that we have garnered here.
Ghana Gas says engaging stakeholders is a key part of its 2025 to 2026 strategy.
They also have insight of certain operations mechanisms here. So when we sit down, we all join and put a lifeline to where Ghana Gas want to go in the next 1 year, the middle short term and the middle term.
Energy stakeholders say completing phase 2 at Atuabo will reduce gas flaring, secure domestic LPG supply, and provide long-term economic benefits for Ghana's energy sector.
There is a steady growth in adoption of solar as part of the power mix for most commercial firms, especially in the banking and telecommunications sectors. Now, this follows the enormous benefits of cutting costs and opportunity from other green initiatives being implemented by shareholders and development partners. The development was revealed by the Brew Hammond Energy Center of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology at a stakeholders workshop here in Accra. Details in this report.
The dissemination workshop was aimed at scaling up distributed solar PV adoption in Ghana with focus on the commercial sector. This is an annual meeting to discuss a report on the use of renewable energy by the Brew Hammond Energy Center of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in a stakeholders workshop with the financial and telecom sector operators. Director Professor David Kwanzaa hinted that more commercial institutions are taking advantage of green financing to add solar into their energy mix.
What we realize is that the banks and the telco sector actors, they are all very actively pursuing green and sustainability policies. They are actively pursuing green and sustainability policies. Some of these are influenced by what their shareholders are expecting. Some of them are also influenced by what the regulator is expecting them to do. But we also realize their experiences point to the fact that they are getting some good cost savings by deploying solar technology at some of their facilities.
Deputy Director of Renewable Energy at the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, Dr. Robert Sogbaji, disclosed plans by government to establish the Renewable Energy Authority to coordinate all activities on renewable energy across the country.
The Renewable Energy Act has stated clearly that there will be established a Renewable Energy Authority. And for now, the Renewable Energy Directorate is in charge of implementing all the activities that the Renewable Energy Authority will undertake. This Renewable Energy Authority, when established, will be a one-stop shop to be responsible for all renewable energy programs, policies, and projects. And this will make sure that donor-supported funding, government funding will be directed to a particular institution. Currently, when there are challenges of renewable energy installations, such as maybe solar street lights, it is very difficult to pinpoint one institution that will be responsible for the restoration. And this has led to a decline in trust of the technologies which has to do in the renewable energy sector.
The initiative by the Brew Hammond Energy Center is supported by the Climate Compatible Growth of the UK.
World Bank's latest edition of the Women Business and Law report has revealed that women in the sub-Saharan African region, including Ghana, have less than two-thirds of their economic rights enforced compared to men. Details in this report. The report said only about a third of mechanisms are in place in sub-Saharan Africa to support the implementation of laws that support women's economic rights compared to men. Experts interviewed in the sub-Saharan African region perceived that women's economic rights are enforced at less than half of their full potential. The report revealed that since October 2023, only 15 out of 48 economies in the sub-Saharan African region enacted 33 reforms to provide women with greater access to economic opportunities. On the highlight for the region, the report said across the 10 topics, Sub-Saharan Africa performed relatively well under mobility, with a regional average score of 69.5. 3 economies in the region scored 100. They were Ghana, Nigeria, and Rwanda, indicating that policies to support women's freedom of movement are in place in these countries. Also, 7 sovereign upgrades in Africa in 2025, including Ghana by S&P Global Rating, were driven primarily by improving growth prospects and reform momentum. Details in this report. All right, we shall bring you that story subsequently, but let's focus to some other stories. Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture, Emilia Arta, says government is taking strategic steps to position the blue economy to contribute meaningfully to food security. Speaking at the launch of the Chamber of Aquaculture's Blue Food Innovation Hub, she noted that the hub aligns with plans being made by the government to modernize the aquaculture sector.
The Chamber of Aquaculture's Blue Food Innovation Hub is expected to serve as a platform for research, skills development, entrepreneurship, and the adoption of new technologies across the fisheries and aquaculture value chain, while mobilizing investment and facilitating pathways to address capital shortages and improve access to market. Speaking at the launch of the hub, Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture, Emilia Arta, reaffirmed government commitment to transform and modernize the sector.
We are mindful that sustaining and expanding these contributions requires innovation, sound resource management, and strong institutional frameworks. The challenges confronting the sector, including resource depletion, climate variability, limited access to finance, and gaps in value chain efficiency, demand enhanced collaboration between government and key industry stakeholders. So the hub aligns seamlessly with government's broader agenda to modernize the fisheries and aquaculture sector through sustainability, value addition, digital transformation, and inclusive growth.
Chief Executive of the Chamber of Aquaculture, Jacob Ajika, says the Chamber is targeting about $10 million in investment for businesses in the blue food sector through the establishment of its Blue Food Innovation Hub.
The Blue Food Innovation Hub is being launched today to contribute to curbing critical challenges in our blue food sector. The hub seeks to unlock skills development, innovation, markets, and financing for enterprises. It will also support creation of sustainable jobs and business opportunities, particularly for women, youth, marginalized groups, including people with disabilities, along the entire value chain. Indeed, as a chamber, we project that by 2032, the hub should be able to unlock at least $10 million USD in private sector investment to energize the blue food ecosystem.
The Blue Food Innovation Hub is expected to promote sustainable aquaculture practices, encourage value addition, and support the commercialization of innovations that can improve efficiency and competitiveness in the sector.
The Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management Ghana has issued a final ultimatum to unregistered human resource practitioners to comply with the Human Resource Management Professionals Act 2020 by the end of May. The institute says all individuals practicing as HR practitioners without proper registration risk facing sanctions if they fail to regularize their status within the stipulated period. Chief Executive Officer of the institute, Francis Eduku, says the enforcement forms part of efforts to uphold standards and protect the integrity of the profession.
Addressing the media, Chief Executive Officer of the institute, Dr. Francis Eduku, reiterated that HR work in Ghana shall be performed by trained, certified, and regulated practitioners, signaling the new regulatory environment for human resource management in Ghana.
And dealing with people we all have experience with. But let me make it clear here that having experience with people is not equivalent to having the requisite competencies to manage people at scale, ethically, legally, and strategically to achieve business objectives. People management is therefore an applied science and has a distinct body of knowledge and ensures that workplace decisions are based on rigor, evidence, ethics, and accountability, not solely on intuition. Because of the common sense approach being adopted by many unqualified HR practitioners, our HR landscape in Ghana has largely been unstructured.
President of the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management Ghana, Florence Hatchford, emphasized that the era of unregulated human resource management had given way to a new chapter whereby the institute has become entrusted with the authority to promote professional training in human resource management and to regulate the practice of human resource management in Ghana.
For far too long, the HR space has operated
without adequate regulation, allowing many non-professionals to operate in the field. As a result, individuals without the requisite competencies and certifications have been entrusted with managing the HR function in several organizations and entities in the country.
The Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management Ghana reminded HR practitioners and solution providers that it is a breach of Act 1020 to perform HR functions in Ghana if you're not a registered member of the institute and not in good standing.
And to some other business stories, the Director General of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, Kwesi Afrebaini, has stated that the value of SNIT investments had seen tremendous growth over the period. Speaking at an engagement with employers in Tamale, Mr. Baini revealed that the value of SNIT's assets stood at 20.4 billion cedis as at the end of 2024, increasing to over 25 billion cedis in 2025. More in this report.
The Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, has held an engagement forum with employers in Tamale focusing on strengthening compliance, improving service delivery, and fostering partnership. Speaking to the media on the sidelines of the event, the Director General of SNIT, Kwesi Afrebaini, said they would continue to grow investments of SNIT.
The value of our investments keeps growing. At the end of 2024, the value of our investment assets under management was 24.4 billion cedis. At the end of 2025, the value of our assets under management is in excess of 25 billion cedis. It shows a trust that is growing. Year in, year out, we improve on our collections, we improve on our systems in the way in which we make payments to people who go on pension. And we are pretty confident that we will continue to build a stronger trust and one that will continue to provide the services that we are mandated to do.
He said the event aimed to gather feedback to enhance its delivery and address its challenges.
We believe that as we engage all stakeholders, it positions us to get proper feedback on what we are doing and what to improve upon. And it's also an opportunity for us to share with our stakeholders what it is that we are doing for the future, so that together we build a much stronger trust.
Tamale Area Manager Seth Corte said employers remain indispensable partners in sustaining SNIT.
Employers remain indispensable partner in sustaining the social security scheme, and this workshop provides an important platform to dialogue, learn, renewed partnership and collaboration. Over the years, SNIT has taken deliberate steps to improve accessibility, responsiveness, and convenience through digital innovation, expanded service points, and more proactive engagement with employers and members.
Now, Ghana and Australia have reaffirmed their commitment to climate-resilient agriculture by highlighting renewed efforts to support smallholder farmers, strengthen food systems, and drive sustainable agricultural growth across West Africa. More in this report.
Australian Centre for International Agricultural Research, in collaboration with the Australian High Commission in Ghana, has commemorated the Africa-Australian Partnership for Climate-Responsive Agriculture. The event highlighted how Ghana and Australia are strengthening cooperation through evidence-based agricultural research aimed at enhancing climate resilience, transforming food systems, and promoting inclusive development across West Africa. Australian High Commissioner to Ghana, Her Excellency Bernice Owen Jones, reaffirmed Australia's commitment to supporting smallholder farmers in Ghana through targeted research in climate agriculture and food security.
Ghana has been on the radar of the Australian Centre for International Agricultural Research for a long time now, and now the time has come. Tonight I was able to announce the launch of a small office here at the Australian High Commission for the Australian Centre for International Research. And the purpose of that office is very clear. It's to encourage partnerships to build exchanges on scientific research for development with a focus on climate resilient agriculture and food security. The projects are very practical, very focused on very tangible outcomes, specifically for smallholder farmers. And this is where we can make a real difference here in Ghana.
Research Program Manager for the Africa-Australian Partnership for Climate Responsive Agriculture, Zita Ricci, emphasized that funding and project prioritization will be guided by Ghana's national priorities.
We have three main outcomes, like supporting uptake of climate resilient agriculture, focus on women and also partnerships. The total funding allocation is over the five or 6 years, is $76 million Australian, but also just to note that is also supporting our existing programming across 10 countries in East and Southern Africa. So the prioritisation of projects will really be determined by the country priorities and getting a balance across the 4 key focal countries, Egypt, Morocco, Ghana and Nigeria.
Chief Executive of the Tree Crop Development Authority, Andy Osei Okra, noted that the partnership between Ghana and Australia is expected to boost the growth and competitiveness of Ghana's tree crop sector.
We just finished our maiden investment summit where we are talking about the tree crop sector as an engine for the economic transformation of this country. So any partnership that can really propel the tree crop sector, i.e. this 6 crops, there are other crops more than the 6, but in the meantime, this is what the law permits us to do. The cashew, the coconut, the oil palm, rubber, mango, and shea. And I believe this partnership Africa has with Australia would really develop and increase the growth of our products.
The partnership is expected to boost research collaboration and equip smallholder farmers with climate-smart solutions to improve productivity and resilience.
Thanks so much for watching Prime Business. I am Pius Kujo Baka. Razak Musbao comes up shortly with Prime Sports.